1968 Dodge Charger restoration, part 6, trunk pan installation. Okay, we are laying the trunk pan into position for mock-up, locking that thing down into place, and we're installing locating screws, and that's going to be really important because we're going to have this pan in and out 2 or 3 times during mock-up, and we want it to be put back in exactly the same position every time. And here we have a soapstone, and we are tracing out the underside of the pan going around the frame rail and inner structure. And here we're prepping and cleaning that all up in preparation for welding. And here we are laying out marks on a 4-inch center. We want to try to be really nice and uniform with the weld. And now we're drilling out those marks. Part of this floor pan we will be attaching from underneath. Working our way up the frame rail lip. Okay, here we go. We are laying out more marks on the 4-inch center, and now we're going to use our hole punch because it's a lot easier than drilling. Now this trunk pan is coated in EDP coating, and we want to remove as little of that as possible, just enough so we can get a really nice sound weld. And here we are marking out that lip so we can remove the EDP coat exactly where we're going to be applying the weld. And getting that thing all cleaned up, prepped with some Scotch-Brite. And any bare metal, we are using a weld-through primer. Definitely don't want to leave any bare spots or bare metal. Okay, so now we are locating and clamping into place our fuel tank strap bracket. And this is the final time we are installing this pan. So we're using a soapstone to trace out the lip again. Like I mentioned, part of the floor pan will be welded from the bottom side, but we're prepping this so that we can use our resistance welder. And I prefer to use a resistance welder attaching body panels anytime that I can. But there are limitations on the resistance welder. And using C clamps to lock in the rear half of the trunk pan. And here we go. First weld. It just does such a nice job, leaves a really nice clean weld. If I was to plug weld this, I'd have to come back and dress the weld, do a bunch of grinding, and there would be a lot of deformation around the weld. This eliminates all of that. Really speeds up the process, and it mimics the factory installation method. I always like to look as close to factory with a repair as possible. The resistance welder is a little heavy though. Yeah, it does get heavy. Now this is the outside frame rail, and you can see we're maxed out on length on the resistance welder. And we're just following the frame rail lip. And there's a little outboard bracket here. Going to get that nice and secure to the trunk pan. And there it is. Okay, now we are underneath the car, and those holes that we had drilled and all the areas we had prepped, we are plug welding through those. And we've got our machine set just right so that it doesn't come through the other side or the top side of the trunk pan. And this really minimizes distortion, leaves a very nice clean finish, and very little welding at all. And here you can see really nice shot across the trunk pan. It's not all wavy or dented in. Just a really nice clean job doing it this way. Really nice. I like that. And that side's complete. And here's a shot of underneath. Now you can see how our trunk pan and the inner structure lip and the frame rail lip, they're really tight to each other, and you can see the welds that we've performed. And that's unground. Yeah, we didn't have to do any work down there. And here we are buttoning up the front of the trunk pan. Here we are plug welding from the top. So we've used a resistance welder, and we have plug welded from the bottom, and we have plug welded from the top. But there's virtually no distortion in this pan installation. Really nice clean finish. And here we are attaching the wheel wells. Just trying to do a really nice clean job. And we'll come back and resistance weld in between the first welds. Just taking our time, being thorough. And we'll just work our way up the wheel well lip. Hey, now we can make some time. Hey, and as always, hey, thanks for watching.